things have moved on a bit. I think that I've probably done enough time for that to have been part one and this to have been part two. I've got all the bits glued on that I can do, so I'll go home at some point. Time has passed. I've had to do grown-up stuff and phone people and be in contact and all of that, during which time the weather's really changed. We had snow, the snow came down, it took leaves off the trees and all sorts. There's a bit of wind with it in the end. And then this, I don't know what it is, kind of mist, haze thing, cloud has descended. And it's warmed things up, weirdly. It's a warm one, and it's taking a lot of the snow off the twigs. So we're getting a fascinating landscape in the distance, where all the hedgerows are pretty much clear. Can we get anything like that? Just a little hint. Yeah, hedgerows are clear. The fields are still covered in snow because they're sort of insulating themselves against the warmth. They have enough snow. So that's where we're at weather-wise, and I'm going to have to get home because this engine's making everything shaky, isn't it? Because things are getting a bit hairy elsewhere. I'll just tell you a silly little story that I thought of. We live to the east of here, and from where we are we can see the sea, and we get the cold easterly winds off the sea, which is what's doing all this at the moment. So we had more snow earlier than here, and last night Mrs. Meltdown had booked us all in for the Alnwick Garden Christmas lights, which are spectacular and very fantastic, and Minnie Meltdown likes them, but Mrs. Meltdown probably loves them the most. And we all got rather cold, and me and Minnie Meltdown said, oh, we're going into the cafe to have something to eat and get warm. And Mrs. Meltdown is prone to seeing things through to the bitter end. It's one thing to be a finisher completer. It's another thing to not know when to stop. And she went all the way round, and she stayed for the spectacular bit at the end. And then we all went to bed, went home, went to bed. And Mrs. Meltdown kept us awake until gone 3 in the morning because she got earache. Poor old soul. But anyway, sometimes you got to know when to call it a day. Right, time for a quick review. I don't usually go for having shed loads of weapons on the underside of aircraft because it spoils the shape. But as I was saying, this is quite a harsh shape. There is a beauty to it, but it's also really quite harsh. I think the extended nose beyond the delta really makes it quite sort of aggressive, if you know, anyway. So, and most of the parts are on the underside. There's only really 3 things to say are no good, and I've mentioned them already. The carriage here, under there, all this gubbins under it, oh, that's still flexible, all this gubbins under it just wasn't going to fit. It bore no relation to the space it had to go in. And the weirdest thing, this probably isn't visible, but the tail has a little bend to it, a tiny little bend. Apart from that, it is fantastic, and despite that, it is fantastic. This is a stunning aircraft with a, mind-blowing capabilities for the day, and that was really an enjoyable adventure. I'm not going to give myself a hard time that I haven't completed all of it, because I wasn't. There's no money riding on it, is there? It's nothing special. I just found myself in a circumstance and decided to make the most of it. But I rose to the challenge, and I got somewhere with that challenge. Where does that leave us? Time to let it all harden and then give it a spray, if I can find me silver. Have you seen the mess in here? Because I've been moving out, so I've been helping me mate, and other things in life. We might get onto some of that because some of it's just ridiculous. But look at all that mess. And then I was going to show you me stash, but we've got wall-to-wall boxes, so we're not going to see that. And then I can't get to most of my tools, which are around this side, because we've got a toy kitchen ready for Christmas, which God, certain people mustn't see that. Want to know what that is? I don't know if we're doing this one yet or if we've done it, but that's where I've been spraying the parts for the Frog Avro Shackleton. Whoa, look forward to that one. So, and there's me bin. Marvellous. I'm going to go in, it's freezing. Let that harden and then we're off and running. Gordon Bennett, I'm spending more time trying to get to me silver spray than I am working on the model, because this chest of drawers did not enjoy the move, and it's got all kinds of stuff in it, but this drawer, the bottom's fallen out and the handle's come off, so I've ended up with all the spray from this drawer falling into the next one, apart from these, which are now jamming it, and I can't get the drawer in or out. Oh, I can get it in a little bit, but that won't be any good because I won't be able to get it out. So everything's got to come out. Now I've got to try and find the silver in the process, and then I'm going to have to put brackets on that, aren't I? Because I'm stuck with this. I'm stuck with this chest of drawers now because it's supporting part of the model railway. Right. See how it all works? See how it all fits together? Oh, God dear. Oh, look. Can you read that? Waterloo Farmhouse. Have to make that sometime, won't we? Yeah, that'll be fun. Anyway, silver spray, please. Right, all the techie stuff apart, these two little spray cans are about the only thing that allows this aircraft to balance nicely, that I've got anyway. I've put the spikes on. I've done four coats of silver. It was looking a bit flecky at first, but it's smoothed out, and neither of these spikes want to sit particularly well. There is a notch underneath for that one, but it's not big enough for the, I can't think of the word, like pin, but it isn't. And then this has just got the tiniest dimple to put it in. So I'm going to let them dry properly before I get spraying again. That's all. Sprayed! I think we've got a good surface. I think we've got good coverage. That needle is, look at that, right on line. Whoa. Let it dry overnight. Oh, still a bit of vapour in here, God. Let it dry overnight and come back to it. Oh, it's gone in my lungs. Blech.